Hi, I'm Nathan Wilson, and this is my story. I just wanted to record a story for Legacy, but also if you're interested, give it a like, subscribe, comment. I'll try to comment back. Um, I also want to make sure these films for my son Lucas. Hi, Lucas, if you're watching. Um, and this story is about the time I threw a party on an island. It was one of the wildest, most successful parties I've ever thrown. I've thrown a few parties, and it's usually just me and either by myself or me and one other person. And then nobody else shows up. But this one was very different because many people showed up, and and it got a little out of hand. Okay, so let me premise this. There was a weekend. My parents were going out of town, and they trusted me and my sister um, to stay at the house for the weekend. My grandmother, she lived in a house next door, and so we thought, what could go wrong? Uh, but I told some of my friends at school. They said, "Hey, you should have a party." But I said, "I can't have a party at my house um, because my grandmother would know because she lives literally right next door." And they said, "Hey, why don't we?" So some of my friends came over, and we were kind of in the country. This was in Humphrey, Arkansas, about 1997. I'm thinking I was 16 years old. My friends were 15, 16, and there were there were three of us who kind of devised this plan for partying. And part of it was we had a paddle boat. There's a crooked creek, which a creek is just a really small river that's like muddy and backwater, brown, uh, and has alligators in it. But anyway, or just I've seen one alligator, but I don't know how many. But anyway, but we had this paddle boat. You could sit on the creek and paddle, and, and we also had a canoe. So we took this paddle boat and we were going off around in it, and we found this island, which I'm not sure if it's actually an island but the place is just inaccessible by any other means other than just going up on this paddle boat. Because where the creek is, it splits off, and the land in the middle was where we were talking about. And it's like I said, I'm not sure if it's just like a little peninsula or whether it's an actual island. But it doesn't really matter because it kind of feels like an island, and it acted like an island. And so we took the paddle boat, and we found that place, and there was some level land that was gonna we had to clear it out and do a lot with it. And we said, we can have a party here. So, okay, yeah. Um, and so my friends, got everything cleared out. We made some wood for a bonfire and had some ice chest and things for drinking and drugs. And we got um, so all my so can we're gonna have the party on the weekend. I think it's like Friday night, and I told all my friends about it at school, but just kind of a small group. But every most of my friends, I was the only one with a car, so I said, I really want to come to your party, but I can't get to it because I don't have a car, and so I need you to pick me up. And so I said, okay, I'll pick you up. And so what we did was I went, uh, one person, we came after school, and they got to the party first, and they went to the island, and there was like a ferry system. So you walk down this road, and then you there's a canoe or a paddle boat that you can take to the island. And so, and as there were not many people showing up, you just take the canoe there. And then when you want to come back, you take the canoe back. Or if both paddle boat and canoe are on the other side, then you just yell out, "Hey, I need a ride across the creek," and then somebody would canoe or paddle boat to you, and then you come back. Um, and so I think there were like three or four people that came with me after school, and then there were like four or five more people that I picked up, and then so we all went out to this island, and we were having a lot of good times, and a lot of people showed up like that I hadn't told about the party, that that other people had told them about the party, and they just started coming from everywhere, and they just started coming. But it one person, they parked in the driveway in front of my grandmother's house. They thought it was just a barn because it was a large red barn, but on the inside it was a nice house. But this person, they parked in the driveway. My grandmother came out with a gun. They said, "Hey, what are you doing? Hey, get off my property!" And they got scared and they left. um, and then, but they left to go to the party, and they was like, "Hey, Nathan, your grandmother came and chased us off with a gun." I said, "Oh my gosh!" And I went and talked to her, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, grandmother. The I'm just having a few friends over um, behind the house, and they must have gotten lost because." And she was like, "I don't like people just parking in my driveway, and I don't know what it's about." And I said, "Oh, okay, that's understandable." And and as I was going there, also, she had apparently also called the police, and and so as I was coming, there were police that tried to get to the island, but the paddle boat, were on the other shore, and they couldn't get to it. So there were a bunch of kids, um, 15, 16, drinking, doing drugs, just marijuana. It's legal now. Um, and it wasn't legal back then. It was very bad, devil's weed. But now it's legal, and it's realized for the medicinal benefits and therapeutic benefits and just recreational benefits. Um, and so the police, but they couldn't get to us. They would have had to came back in a boat, and it would have had been a whole thing. But as they were leaving, they were like, "Hey, we got called," and but I told them, "Hey, no, nothing is going on, no problem at all. So don't even worry about it." And I talked to them, and there's nothing really that they can do without making it a big manhunt search and do a bunch of stuff in the middle of the night that they don't want to do. And so they just kind of they said, "Okay, we're just checking it out. It's okay." So they left, and I brought the snacks, and we had a big party until and it was just partying there all night until the morning came. And then the morning came, I took everybody back. Pretty interesting story, but that was the wildest party I've ever thrown. And I was 16, and all my friends were 15, and it got pretty wild. Um, all right, good times, good times. All right, I I'll probably make another one of these today. Hope it didn't bother you too much. Keep on your notifications.